Marhaban, this is Dr. Emmanuel Rich. In this video, I want us to look at the advantages and disadvantages between working in the big cities and working in a suburb in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. All right, so when I talk about working in the big cities, I'll be using cities like Jeddah, Dammam, Riyadh as an example of a big city and the major cities. Now, suburb, I'll be using a place like here, the place I'm working. Then let's look at the pros and cons of working in these two different backgrounds. What benefits you'll be getting in the big cities? So let's start with the big cities. So one of the benefits you will get working in the big cities is you are likely to get a higher pay when you work within the big cities, because in the big cities you will meet bigger organizations or the head office of most of the organizations within the country. So big cities, sometimes higher pay. Now, the second is you will get a better career opportunity within the big city. Yes, because when you work within the big cities, you can easily network and know a lot of other organizations within the big city. So there will be a lot of opportunities everywhere that you have a much population and much organizations available. You have more and better opportunities. The third pro is you have advanced healthcare facilities, like those that work within the healthcare industry. When you work within the big cities, most of the facilities you'll be working with have advanced equipment. So doctors that find themselves in bigger cities usually face much more advanced equipment than those that work in the suburb. So when you find yourself in big cities, you are likely to meet or to work in a place where they have advanced facilities, advanced equipment, and instrumentation. So this is one of the pros you can find working in the big cities. So another one is you have more diverse expat communities in the bigger cities. Yes, because as an expat, one of the things you will need is diverse, environments where you will see a lot of other expats, a lot of people from various aspects or various places in the world. So in a big city, you are likely to meet diverse expat community, which most of the times lack in suburbs. So this is one of the advantage. Now, another one is access to international schools. One of the thing I think I will face in the future is when I have my child here, I might have it difficult to find any international school in this place because this is a suburb. But those that are in the bigger cities, there are a lot of international schools where you can put your child to go there and have a proper education than home training. Now, another one is, I think I mentioned it, career progression and easy accessibility to progression. So most times, if people work in a bigger city or in the big cities, they have more opportunities to network with people of the same career path. They have more opportunity to attend career progression seminars, CPDs, exams, and they have easy progression, easy connection to these progressive programs and studies. Another one is transit. So when you are in a big city, you can easily transit from where you are to even another country. So you have a proper transit mechanism there, and those in the suburb is always very difficult to access some of the facilities or some things that can easily help you to transit to another place. Another benefit is for a bigger city is you have access to more entertainment and lifestyle options, unlike what we have in the suburbs. So when you're in a suburb, mostly you might not meet all those new things that are happening in the country. So, but those in the big cities are usually opportune to meet or to find a lot of entertainment. Like now in Saudi Arabia, you can easily watch football, watch Ronaldo, and watch all those things. But us here is a bit difficult for us to meet up with what is happening in those big cities. Now, another thing, I've said it in my previous video when I did a video concerning what I like and what I do not like. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, try and subscribe to this channel, and I believe I will be able to give you premium content, things that you need to learn about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So in that video, I made mention of difficulty in transportation, and even my last video, I also you saw me trekking so far for me to be able to get to the bus stop so that I can get a cab to where I want to go to. So these things are usually challenges you will get in the suburbs. So, but for big cities, you can easily get Uber, you can easily get cabs, even in the comfort of your home. They have all those apps that work. They have train stations and all those transportation facilities. So it's more common there. There is much more easy connectivity in the big cities than in the suburbs. So these are the advantages you will get working in the big cities. Now, let's look at the cons. Let's look at the disadvantages. One of major disadvantages is high cost of living. So when you work in a big city, yes, they might likely pay you higher than those in the suburb, but you will spend more even if you are, let's say you're a family person and you are renting a house. Your house rent will be 2 to 3 times what a person in a suburb is paying, even might pay in a better accommodation than what you have in the big city. So high cost of living is one of the disadvantages. Then another one is traffic congestion. So most times there is no ease of movement when you work within the big cities. There is always traffic. Moving from one place to other is always hectic, especially during the rush hour. It's always hectic, moving very fast within the road. Okay. The next one is there is more competitive work environment in the big cities. So when you work in the big cities, a lot of people are there, a lot of population. People are always trying to take over your job. So you are not really relaxed. You're always trying to put more effort. You always want to push. You always want to, work and overwork yourself. So it's always common in the big city because anytime you do yourself, another person will take your job. So you always put out your best and always, be effective in your work. So it's a good thing in a way, but sometimes it can be draining because you don't have excuse not to put out your best. The next one is stressful lifestyle. I discovered that here, I am more relaxed here than most of my colleagues in the major cities. Not because I enjoy here, but I feel that here, the life here is not fast. The life here is a little more settled. People here is a little more relaxed. My work schedules are not as rigorous as that of some places, and even the number of patients I attend to in a day is not as high as those in the big cities. So a lot of stress that you might be facing in the big city, you will not find it in suburbs. Here is a little more relaxed and a little more slow in terms of how they see life. Next disadvantage is pollution. Anywhere you find a lot of cars, a lot of people living, you always find it difficult to even have fresh air. So pollution is a common thing. Any place you have a lot of people living, you always face pollution, and this is one of the disadvantages of living in the big cities. Let's move to the suburbs or the small cities. So for the suburbs or the small cities, one of the pros or one of the disadvantages of working in a suburb is a low cost of living. Low cost of living, things are a little more affordable. If you talk about accommodation, you can, some places, even right here that I stay, can get a good 2-bedroom apartment for 800 Riyal. This same apartment will cost you around 2,500 to 3,000 in big city. Low cost of living is one of the advantages of living in a suburb. Another advantage is less stressful work environment. Like I said, I don't feel any form of stress in my office. In a day, I see at least a minimal number of patients that I can easily see, and I will not feel anything. Sometimes I even feel bored that I'm not seeing enough. So, and you walk around stress-free. You wake up, go to work, in a short time you are back home. You don't really feel 8 hours. I'm able to make these videos and do a lot of other things just because I work in a place that I feel a little more relaxed and comfortable. So this is one of the advantages of working in a small city. Now another one is kind of more quiet, and the environment is cleaner. Cleaner in terms of the air you breathe, the surrounding. Sometimes when I show you the surrounding of where I am, you see how calm, quiet, less clumsy. The population is small. You don't see a lot of people gathering in this small space. So people are just few, just quiet. You live your quiet and peaceful life. So it's one of the things I love. Some people might not love it, but I find it, or I see it as an advantage. The next one is more flexible work schedule. Like I said it before, my work schedule I feel like is more flexible for me. I feel like I am not stressed. So I feel like I am just, the work-life balance is just top-notch. So I don't really feel so stressed and all those things. The next is you are closer to the nature. When it comes to Saudi Arabia, the mountain views, the desert views, and all those things. This is one of the things you find in these small cities. You are just closer to the nature, and you can easily interact with nature. One of the advantages of suburbs. So I think people that love all the beautiful nature sceneries, they will always enjoy being in the suburbs. The last on my list of pros is we have less traffic and shorter commutes. So when you live in these kind of places, you always see our roads feel deserted. Our roads are always clean and empty. People are not, no cars, no car congestion, no traffic congestion. So people always move freely. No matter how the rush hour looks like, people always move freely. You hardly see congestion in our roads or the roads of suburbs, because you have less cars and not less people. A lot of people are driving, but you have less people in the suburbs. So the road users are usually not much. So the roads will always contain the road users. Now let's go to the cons or the disadvantages of working in a suburb. One is lower salary and fewer benefits. Sometimes when you work in a suburb, you might not actually be paid high, or might not actually get what your contemporaries or your colleagues are getting in the big cities. So because of, let's say, the amount of work you are putting in, the amount of traffic the organization is getting, so they might not generate as much money as those in the big cities. So you might not expect to be paid as high as that of the big cities. So sometimes the salary difference is slightly not the same. So this is one of the disadvantages. The next is limited career growth. Yes, I can attest to this one. Sometimes when you are in the suburbs, you are not opportune to attend CPDs. You are not opportune to attend your professional network programs, all those developmental programs. You always miss it because they do happen in the major cities. So it's one of the disadvantages. So you find yourself slacking or stagnant when it comes to professional growth, because you can't leave your work to attend to those meetings, and from where you are to the cities can take quite long. And this is one of the disadvantages of working in the suburb. Then another one is basic health care facilities. You will find healthcare for Saudi Arabia. Actually, I believe everywhere you find a good healthcare facilities. But when it comes to some specialty areas in the healthcare industry, you might be looking at going to the major or bigger cities than the suburbs. They are located in bigger cities. When you want to do some kind of procedures, they don't man such equipment in the smaller cities. They man those facilities in the big cities. So you will get the basic healthcare, but not the actually as those that are in the big cities, right? Like I said, one of the disadvantages again is limited education option. So we are always limited to schools, international schools, for those that cannot actually speak Arabic or read Arabic. We are always limited to number of international schools within the suburbs. School, or even personally you want to go to school and do some short programs, you might not be opportune to be able to run it with your work. So because of the distance and because of where you are, so this is one of the disadvantages of working in a suburb. Another one is fewer entertainment and shopping, because most of the things I buy here, I order them online because most of those major shops are not here, and because we have limited shopping malls. Even the shopping malls we have here, they have a limit to things they have. So there are some kind of things you want to buy, you might not see varieties because you just have only 1 or 2 or 3 shopping malls selling here, and things might be a little bit difficult to find. So this is one of the disadvantages. But when you work in the big cities, you have numerous international malls and big markets, so it is not the same, and it is a con for suburbs. Then the next one is a limited transportation option. You can see it from my last video when I was trekking, I trekked so long for almost 30 minutes to get to the bus stop, and trek another one to get to another junction where I was able to find a car. Without making such moves, we keep standing and looking for somebody to take you. So we have this low connectivity and limited access to transportation system. So it's one of the disadvantages of working in the suburbs. And another one which is linked to this transport system is transit. Sometimes when you want to move from here to another place, let's say move from here to maybe outside the country, most times it requires you to first of all move from here to the big city, then from big city to out of the country. Or when you want to write some international exams, the centers might not be in the suburbs, it should be in the big city. So these are little disadvantages. If you are someone that loves a calm environment, beautiful sceneries, especially when it comes to nature, if you don't love noise or cloudy places, maybe the suburbs can be for you. But if you're someone that networks, you like meeting people, you like interacting, you like things, like places that are bubbling, then big city can be your thing. So you compare between the big city and the small city depending on your job and what you love. If you have a choice, you are the person to make a choice. So in the comment section, you can drop which one you prefer between the big and the small cities. Sometimes the salary, because many people consider the money, but if they pay you higher amount, at the end of the day, you are spending more than somebody that is in the small city. Can you see that the person in the suburbs is actually benefiting more? Even though your salary actually seems higher, the person in the suburb might even save more than you because they feel more relaxed, they spend less, and they have things like accommodation more affordable to them than you in a major city. So it all depends. So put in the comment section which of these do you like better, the suburb or the big cities, in terms of your career development, transit, transportation, connectivity, or in terms of quiet life, clean life, peaceful work environment, stress-free work environment. And these are the choices you will consider and make your choice. So I am Dr. Emmanuel Rich. Please, if you watch to this point, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Do not forget to subscribe, because a lot of people are watching my video, but a lot are yet to subscribe. I don't know why, but don't be among those. Be among those that are my friends that want to see me more and more. Take good care of yourself. See you next time. Bye-bye.